Welcome to Jersey Reads the Classics, an audiobook podcast delving into the finest works of our literary masters. Unfortunately, it's read by this woman.
What the hell? Who cares? Let's go on an adventure.
Well, hello, and welcome back to Jersey Reads the Classics with me, your host, Rosa DeCandia. Well, my friends, we are not that far away from the end of our book, so without any further ado, let's proceed to The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. And now we are on to Chapter 18, Away to the South. Dorothy wept bitterly at the passing of her hope to get home to Kansas again. But when she thought it all over, she was glad she had not gone up in a balloon. And she also felt sorry at losing Oz. And so did her companions. The Tin Woodman came to her and said, "Truly, I should feel ungrateful if I failed to mourn for the man who gave me my lovely heart. I should like to cry a little because Oz is gone. If you will kindly wipe away my tears so that I shall not rust." "With pleasure," she answered. "Oh, if you can't cry with your friends, who can you cry with?" "Aww," and brought a towel at once. Then the Tin Woodman wept for several minutes, and she watched the tears carefully and wiped them away with the towel. When he had finished, he thanked her kindly and oiled himself thoroughly with his jeweled oil can to guard against mishap. We don't want him squeaking and all that, remember? The Scarecrow was now the ruler of the Emerald City. Okay. And although he was not a wizard, the people were proud of him. For, they said, there is not another city in all the world that is ruled by a stuffed man. Oh, sorry. They're not in America right now. Did I say that? Maybe, I was just going to say someone else could use some brains, but we're not going to go on that. But isn't this funny how I'm reading it at such a timely moment in our history. And so far as they knew, they were quite right. The morning after the balloon had gone up with Oz, the four travelers met in the throne room and talked matters over. The Scarecrow sat in the big throne, and the others stood respectfully before him. I'll look at him now. He's all on the throne. He can't even be like, pull up some chairs. They got to stand before him. I'd be like, bitch ass. Come on now, you know us, we're your peeps, all right? Please, we're your ride or dies, or we don't need to be standing before you. We should be sitting on that throne with you. I'm just saying, but at least they were being respectful, okay? "We are not so unlucky," said the new ruler, "for this place in the Emerald City belonged to us, and we can do just as we please. When I remember that a short time ago, I was up on a pole in a farmer's cornfield, and that now I am the ruler of this beautiful city, I am quite satisfied with my lot." Ain't that the truth? He used to have a pole up his ass, and now look at him. He is the head of a whole freaking country or city or whatever. And the thing is this, 1 minute you're down, 1 minute you're up. You never know. In a blink of an eye, your life can change. You know what I'm saying, people? So we'll talk a little bit about that in the woo-woo. But he at least recognizes it, and he's being grateful for it. "I also," said the Tin Woodman, "am well pleased with my new heart, and really, that was the only thing I wished in all the world. For my part, I am content in knowing I am as brave as any beast that ever lived, if not braver," said the Lion modestly. "Well, you don't know yet because you haven't been faced anything that's been treacherous ever since you got this freaking courage, even though you were courageous before. But we won't keep dwelling on that. If Dorothy would only be contented to live in the Emerald City," continued the Scarecrow, "we might all be happy together." "But I don't want to live here," cried Dorothy. "I want to go to Kansas and live with Aunt Em and Uncle Henry." I don't think she whined as much as I whined, but remember, I'm an Italian chick from Jersey. We whine when we're not happy with shit. We got to make our point known. So I have to make the point known that little Dorothy, she wants to frickin' go home. I kind of don't blame her, but I kind of am like, bitch, you're in a castle right now. Could be worse. It's like you're not eating off of nuts and berries anymore. Remember where you were on the journey before? Now you're living in a castle. Okay, and your best friend is a friggin' ruler. And you're living in a Bellagio. So shut up. "Well then, what can be done?" inquired the Woodman. The Scarecrow decided to think, and he thought so hard that the pins and the needles began to stick out of his brains. Finally, he said, "Why not call the winged monkeys and ask them to carry you over the desert?" Well, that is a good idea. Good on you, Scarecrow. I never thought of that, said Dorothy joyfully. It's just a thing. I'll go at once for the golden cap. When she brought it into the throne room, she spoke the magic words, and soon the band of winged monkeys flew in through the open window and stood beside her. This is the second time you have called us, said the Monkey King, bowing before the little girl. What do you wish? I want you to fly with me to Kansas, said Dorothy. But the Monkey King shook his head. This cannot be done, he said. We belong to this country alone and cannot leave it. There has never been a winged monkey in Kansas yet, and I suppose there never will be, for they don't belong there. Ain't that the truth? Imagine if we had winged monkeys. It's bad enough we got like squirrels that fly. We shall be glad to serve you in any way in our power, but we cannot cross the desert. Goodbye. Oh, that sucked. He didn't even ask if there's something else he could do. And with another bow, the Monkey King spread his wings and flew away through the window, followed by all his band. Dorothy was ready to cry with disappointment. I have wasted the charm of the golden cap to no purpose, she said, for the winged monkeys cannot help me. You know, this girl really does have some bad luck. And what sucks is the Monkey King could have been like you called us, but you know what? We'll give you a little bit of slack, since we don't have to do anything for you. It's not like they're doing anything else. They're hanging out in trees, right? I don't know, brushing off their monkeys. But anyway, I digress. Poor Dorothy, poor Dorothy. It is certainly too bad, said the tender-hearted woodman. The Scarecrow was thinking again, and his head bulged out so horribly that Dorothy feared it would bust. Let us call in the soldier with the green whiskers, he said, and ask his advice. So, the soldier was summoned and entered the throne room timidly, for while Oz was alive, he never was allowed to come farther than the door. This little girl, said the Scarecrow to the soldier, wishes to cross the desert. How can she do so? I cannot tell, answered the soldier, for nobody has ever crossed the desert, unless it is Oz himself. Is there no one who can help me? Asked Dorothy earnestly. Glinda might, he suggested. Who is Glinda? Inquired the Scarecrow. Oh, the Witch of the South. She is the most powerful of all the witches and rules over the Quadlings. Besides, her castle stands on the edge of the desert, so she may know a way to cross it. Okay, this whole time, no one has mentioned Glinda. All of a sudden, they now mention Glinda. This whole time, even Oz. You know, it's interesting. In the movie, it is Glinda. I think they call her Glinda, or it's Glinda, the good witch, and she's the one that we see besides the bad witch. But what cracks me up is this whole friggin' time, they've talked about the Wicked Witch of the East, the Wicked Witch of the West. We knew about the Witch of the North, but no one ever said, yo, Glinda could probably help you. She's the most powerful one. And suddenly, Glinda has entered the picture. All right, let's see if Glinda can handle this, okay? Let's see if Glinda will be the one that's going to finally get Dorothy where she needs to be. Glinda is a good witch, isn't she? Asked the child. The Quadlings think she is good, said the soldier, and she is kind to everyone. I have heard that Glinda is a beautiful woman who knows how to keep young in spite of the many years she has lived. Sounds like me. How can I get to her castle? Asked Dorothy. The road is straight to the south, he answered. But it is said to be full of dangers to travelers. Hello, yet some more danger. We are still not in the home stretch, people. There are wild beasts in the woods, and a race of queer men who do not like strangers to cross their country. For this reason, none of the Quadlings ever come to the Emerald City. The soldier then left them, and the Scarecrow said, It seems, in spite of dangers, that the best thing Dorothy can do is to travel to the land of the South and ask Glinda to help her. For of course, if Dorothy stays here, she will never get back to Kansas. Oh, you needed a brain to say that? Hello, we all know that. Okay, moving forward. You must have been thinking again, remarked the Tin Woodman. I have, said the Scarecrow. I shall go with Dorothy, declared the Lion, for I am tired of your city and long for the woods and the country again. I am really a wild beast, you know. That's true, you can't tame wild beasts. That's why people shouldn't have lions and tigers and all those things as beautiful animals as pets. It's not right. It's not right. I'm very much against that. It's not right. I'm sorry, they are beautiful, but they need to roam free, free as the wind blows. Leave wild animals to be in the wild. Why does humanity, mankind, have to always ruin something? We ruin the environment, we ruin the climate, we ruin humanity, and we ruin freaking wildlife. Why? Why, people? Let them be. They've been here before us. Let them be, please. That's my PSA. That's all I'm going to say. Let them be. I got fault. Besides, Dorothy will need someone to protect her. So true, so true. That is true, agreed the woodman. My axe may be of service to her, so I also will go with her to the land of the south. When shall we start? Asked the Scarecrow. Are you going? They asked in surprise. Certainly. If it wasn't for Dorothy, I should have never had brains. She lifted me from the pole in the cornfield and brought me to the Emerald City, so my good luck is all due to her. See, he remembers, and I shall never leave her until she starts back to Kansas for good and all. Thank you, said Dorothy gratefully. You are all very kind to me, but I should like to start as soon as possible. We shall go tomorrow morning, returned the Scarecrow. So, now let us all get ready, for it will be a long journey. Well, we know that's the truth. They're always on the journey. They still haven't left the freaking journey. Oh my God. All I have to say is this. It's never ending. It's never ending. Poor Dorothy has the hardest of the trek out of all of them, right? And here this bitch is still searching to get home. And it's kind of like our journey. Just when we think we're going to get in the home stretch, something else, we always think like a wrench or what have you. And you know what they say usually? The hardest things, the things that you want the most in your life or choose to have in your life, whether you may think it's the simplest thing, it's the hardest to attain. But is it because it's self-imposed? And I don't know yet because we haven't gotten to the end. But what's interesting here is, what I'd like to talk about is the fact that they're all for one, one for all. And they're also being very grateful. As you noticed, the Scarecrow had no idea that he was going to end up ruling a land, and a really prosperous one too. And what's beautiful about it is he's so grateful and loyal to Dorothy. They all are, but he really even knows everything he's now gotten, which is all like, you know, he's earned it, but has he? I mean, he did do the journey. He's been a wonderful friend, and it's all due to Dorothy. But the fact is this, it's kind of like our journey. You know, so he just wanted brains. So he limited himself to brains, right? He said, all I want is brains. And in the process of him on this journey, being a loyal friend, being a good-hearted person, being honest, doing due diligence, being earnest, doing everything he needed to do, he ends up with more than he could ever think of. And the more is him taking over the land of Oz, him being the ruler of Emerald City. And it's a beautiful city. So what I think that teaches all of us is this. You know, we should have goals, visions, and dreams. But I think what happens to a lot of us is that we limit them. And we get so myopic that we think like, this is the only thing I'm going to go for. I want this and that's it. And we keep asking for whomever you're asking. I don't care if it's universe, God, spirit, if you're not asking anybody. But all you're seeing is the one thing. And sometimes you limit yourself because what happens, you're not staying open to the other opportunities or possibilities, which could be even in your greater good. And I think this is for all of us because, like, for example, I'm an actor, right? I'm an actor, singer. And I could sit here and be like, well, I just want to be, God, if I could just book a Netflix show. Yeah, that would be amazing. You know, first of all, I'd need a good agent and a manager for that. But hey, who says that? Who knows? You know what? Once again, I have to be open to the possibilities. But the point is, why limit myself to that? I always say to Spirit Universe, whatever you deem me to do, let my talents be utilized. So whether it's a Netflix show, whether it's a cartoon, doing animation, you know what I mean, doing the voiceover, whether it's doing movies, or maybe doing the whole enchilada, or having my own damn talk show, which is really ideally what I would love to have one day. But the point is this, I stay open to the possibilities because what I think is only in my best interest may not be. And also, it's limiting from me from the greater good. So why limit yourself? Now, with that being said, yes, you should have a focus. We should focus on the things that we'd like to put our energy towards because that's what we want to grow. And that's fantastic. Like, I'm all for that. But let's not limit ourselves. So I'd like to encourage you today to think outside the box and allow yourself, your mind and your dreams, your daydreams to wander. Like, whatever your dream or vision, like say you have a business idea, okay? Maybe you want to go on Shark Tank. My mom loves that show. Okay. Why limit it to Shark Tank? Start your own business. Maybe you haven't thought about going and applying for Shark Tank. So maybe you have a great idea. You've got it patented and it's slow goings and you're doing it online. So maybe today you go to whatever the online and you look to apply to Shark Tank. What I'm saying is cast a wide net, my friends. Be open to things. Keep your focus on the things you love to do. But let us not forget that opportunities and possibilities can come into us for a reason, for our greater good. Now, we've talked about discernment, and sometimes there are things that you have to be like, no, that's exactly what I don't want to do. And that's trusting your gut. Because I also feel like if there's something you don't want to do and your gut's like, don't do it, you just got to listen to that. And I'm all about that. But what I'm saying is, don't get so caught up in a tunnel vision of what you deem is the ultimate for you, because you're limiting yourself, and you're limiting, whether it's universe, spirit, God, or if you don't believe in any of that, you don't have to, but you're limiting anything coming to you, because all you're doing is putting blinders on. You know how they put blinders on a horse so the horse doesn't get distracted, right? And he can go and he's got to follow his path, his or her path, right? That's what we want the horse to do. So we don't want the horse roaming free and seeing the beauty of this, because the horse is just going to joust and be like, jostle and go where he wants to go. But that's you with your dreams. Don't have blinders on. Be open. Let things be, be open enough that things can come to you and you can have that energy. Because once you put the energy out there of what you're looking to do and you're doing the actual work, what happens? And you're staying open to possibilities. What happens? Shit comes to you. It does. And you don't even know in the ways possible. And that's the beauty of what Scarecrow's going through. He's grateful. He had no idea. He so gratefully got brains. All he thought about was brains. And he's using them justly and wisely. And he always had the brains. But the thing is, now he's got the confidence, because now he's got this physical thing to assure him and affirm that he's got it. But because he didn't say no to the wizard, because now he feels comfortable. When the wizard said, you're going to listen to the Scarecrow didn't say, oh no, I don't think I can do that. He just took the job. He was like, okay. And now I'm living in a palace, and now I'm ruling this nation, and I'm going to rule it justly. So that's like us. So let's stay open, each and every one of us, and think today and wander in your dreams, your daydreams, how big you can get in terms of where do you see yourself? Who knows? Let it be, let it flow. And you know what? Continue to stay open to the possibilities. Well, on that note, that was a very short chapter, so I think the message here is stay open to the possibilities. Don't limit yourself. Keep the blinders off and continue to do your work. Continue to do your due diligence. Stay in your lane, but maybe be open to be rerouted to another lane, because now again, a little gang is not quite done. They are not quite done. And there's more in store for them, because something else is now going to happen in the next few chapters, because we know it ain't the last chapter. So there's going to be some more mayhem or some more drama, and our gang's going to have to face that, and we shall see what happens there. All right, my friends, I wish you an amazing day. I'm sending you tons of light and love and peace and joy and bliss and beautifulness, knowing you are already beautiful, knowing you are already enough and worthy. And you know what, my friends? Just stay open. Stay open. Stay open to the possibilities, because you do not know what is coming for you. Because whatever is yours, my friend, it's coming for you. It's going to come to you. But you got to stay in the faith. You got to do your work, and you just got to keep being you. So keep being you. All right. Adieu. Ciao.